friend. No, it's a rap. I don't wanna be the chick that you call in the middle of the night to show you better with. Round the clock, girl. I don't wanna be your girlfriend.
It's SVG.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
We are back again. We are back with more talk time here on Activated Mornings on WEFM with Roleza and Dianna. At this time, we are going to conduct an interview with Air, All Islands Recycling. We are going to be talking about their recycling process and what exactly they've got going on there, the part that they are playing in helping to help with some of the issues affecting the environment. This morning with us, we have Mr. Jadiel Dupwell, who is the operations manager. Jadiel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dianna. Good morning, Roleza. How are you guys doing?
We're all right. You?
I'm fine, thank you.
You ever been to WEFM before?
One time just to drop off breakfast.
Drop off breakfast, and you came
brought a case
empty-handed.
of toasty water for you guys.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I take that back, sir. I take that back. Very with speed. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, man. So, well, welcome back. Welcome back. If you haven't been inside, well, welcome inside the studio, right? So, welcome to the studio of WEFM. All right, sorry. All right, so listeners, as I mentioned before, we are going to be talking a little bit more about Air. I will allow Jadiel to introduce himself further and to give you all the necessary information as it relates to Air, what is Air and where it's located, what they do, and so on. So, Jadiel, over to you.
Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. In the sound of my voice, I'm Jadiel Dupwell. I've been working at All Islands Recycling for about 8 years now, and I have seen significant growth, right? All Islands Recycling is in place to reduce waste in our environment and also to help people to make a living. People come every day to sell bottles, to just do simple things as to get breakfast, to get lunch. There's a guy I meet every day who says, "Thank you guys very much. I got breakfast, I got lunch, I could buy a piece of bread." So it's just as simple as that, to help people make that everyday living, to sustain life.
Now, when you say to get breakfast, you mean he brought in things to trade for cash?
Yeah, for
Because
cash.
I hate thinking it's free food you're giving
No.
away. All right, just happy to have that cleared up. All right.
Yeah. So it's that's basically it. We ask people to sort by color, take the covers off. The label could stay on along with the ring on the neck. All we are concerned about is the covers. The covers could go into a separate bag, but we ask to sort by color. So clear bottles go separately from the blue, the green, and the brown. And if you bring clear only, you will be paid $3.45 per kilogram, while the blue and the green would be $2.10. And then the brown, which is one of our most challenging items because it's so hard to get out of the country, is just 50 cents per kilogram.
Okay. Go ahead. It says All Islands Recycling. So what other islands are part of that?
Well, actually, we are the first one, and we are hoping that other islands could get on board.
Okay.
With this blueprint that we have, we actually process refund levies for clients. I don't know if you guys know, but there is something in place where the levy in place where the government charges 50 cents per unit a case of drinks that you bring in. So for instance, if you bring in 100 cases of a 24-pack drink, then you would have to pay $1,200 in environmental levy, right? So there's a clause that states if a company could prove that they are removing or destroying these items out of the island, then they would get back 85% of the levy that was charged initially, and then the 15% would be left on the table for the government for paperwork and processing and so forth. So that's another part of what we do. So we buy bottles from the vendors in the public in order to build a bottle bank. And from that bottle bank, we would now take bottles from in order to process entries for all different clients.
Okay. So you take bottles, but I know that you also take cans. So you want to speak a bit more on that?
Cans as well. We added cans to the equation because it was companies also bring in cans, and cans are part of the issue with litter and pollution inside of the environment. So we the bottle bank also accommodates the cans as well, right? So cans would be in it. We would destroy the cans. You just bring the cans in. There's no real process on how to bring in the cans. You just pack them into a bag, and it would be $1 per kilogram for the cans. It's not as sophisticated in terms of the breakdown and how you process the bottles. You can't just bring them in, and then the cans would go out on a shipment with scrap metal, because we also do scrap metal. We do copper, car batteries, aluminum.
You do car batteries?
Yes, it's not lucrative like copper. But yes, we do car batteries as well. It's 40 cents per kilogram, while copper is $7.70 per kilogram.
So one car battery is how much kilograms?
Huh?
One car battery is how much? Because I keep leaving my car batteries with people.
It depends on the car battery, but I think the general car battery size it would be like about 12 kilograms. I do that by 40 cents. It's nothing much. It's just
you could buy breakfast.
Bread and beef.
You could buy breakfast. It's fine. It's fine. All right.
All right. So what can you tell us what your process is like from start to finish?
Okay, so the bottles would come in, and then we have a really, really good team on the floor that would, as soon as the bottles come, they would put it on the scale, and then we have boxes, right? So different colors would go into different boxes, and we would fill those boxes with 8 bags of 192 bottles. Right, so one box would have 8 bags of 192 bottles, right? And then we would pack those bottles aside, and then when we have enough to pull off a crushing, because we have to crush the bottles in order to package them into a container and ship them out. So we would crush them on crush days of probably once a week or once every other week, and then it normally comes out to about 200,000 bottles per crush. And then, as I said, we would get a customs guard to come in to verify our count. And those 200 bottles now would go into our bottle bank. So if a specific client has environmental levy that they need to refund, that they need to process for 50,000 bottles, we could reach into the bottle bank, pull that 50,000 bottles, put it against their entry, and now send it to customs for processing. And then now, after that is when we are processing for clients, and then after we're finished with the crushing process, we would wait until we get 40 bags, because we fill a 40-foot container to send to the US. These crush packages. This is what I have here. If you guys know.
Okay, hold it to the camera. The camera right here. All right.
Right. This is the clear. And this is your Sprite and so forth. And then this is the little bag of Village, Ram and Boom and Turbo. Right, so these bags would now be packed 40. We put a weight on each bag, put it into the container, take pictures, and send to the person buying. And yeah, this is how we prove that we are responsibly removing and destroying the waste out of the country. These items actually go to brokers who now ship them to like textile and fabric places. So now come back and make cushions and so forth, cushion covers and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, that's.
Do you think you guys have plans maybe of? But I don't know what is the sanitary procedure, I suppose, with regards to maybe washing bottles and using them back, because I always feel a little bit guilty whenever it is. I say I buy a bottle of coconut water, or maybe like sorry juice or something local, and then of course I've only used it that one time, and then but I don't throw them away. I normally keep my stuff to give to a guy who I think actually gives them to your company. But rather than reusing them, rather than, I mean, it might just be, it's not to put this business out of business, but to expand your business. Do you
Yeah.
think that might be a consideration at some point, you think?
It could be, but I know people are very,
Yeah, I know that it might be particular, but I mean, I'm sure that there must be a sanitary way to do it,
At this point, I'm
Never
not
thought
too
about
sure.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the processing you were explaining a while ago, that happens right. All that happens right over there at
in that
Camden
little
Park.
building, yes. Yes.
Like you said, right in that little building. All
Everything
right.
is packed there and so forth. Oh, we also do a program in the schools. Tusty is the sister company, so Tusty does the school breakfast program, and now we have an initiative in the schools where we have the loop, where we same bottles that they would buy, take those covers off. We put bins in each of the schools that are on the breakfast program with us. And they would do their own little recycling and bring it in whenever we have a collection day. We would collect them, and they would get their own little funds for if they have a corner or if they want to buy some stationery or so forth. So we are, helping the schools to help themselves in a way, so we just put that in place so they would have something to fall back on.
Okay.
How has that been going so far? How are the children feeling about that?
The children are a lot more receptive to this program than the adults are, funny enough. We would have instances where there are a lot of covers on the bottles, or the bottles coming with juice and so forth, but that is minor compared to what we've seen adults do. Like adults would see beverages and cans only, but yes, you would see Kentucky Fried Chicken box and so forth in it. And so we really need everyone to be on board in order to take this somewhere. But it's really crazy what we see from the adults.
Okay.
Oh, so that those were. Oh yes, those garbage cans in town, they were placed by you guys. I think people don't take time to read to see what says recycle and so on.
And I have to be fair to them as well, because if I have garbage, well, before I walked here, if I had garbage, I wouldn't stop to read. But if they are in place for cans and bottles only people and not Kentucky Fried Chicken.
But I suppose I probably was guilty of this as well too, because the thing of it is that we don't have sufficient receptacles in town, garbage receptacles in town. So, if you just need to get rid of something out of your hands, I apologize.
That's fair.
I apologize for what I did in the past. All right. So what do you think you can say to the public in terms of by way of recycling more, in a sense? Do you think that we take this up as something that's serious? Because I know that there are persons who go around collecting bottles as a way of living, but there are many persons who may not relate in a sense, so they don't think that they need to be involved in the recycling process. What would you say to all Vincentians of all socioeconomic brackets?
I mean, we talk about tourism and the whole lot, right? So I think I'm always of the opinion that in order to grow, we need to start small. And in order to get everybody on board, it's just everyone wants a little extra income. I'm not saying you're going to get $1 million from us, but just something to buy gas or, just to help out with the end of month bills. This is just that extra income to help. Or if you want to help someone, someone in need, this is that, initiative in place to just do good by St. Vincent and the Grenadines and keep the country clean.
All right. I had a question a while ago and I should have written it down. It just came to me. Hold on. I'm trying to see if my question. All right. Right. So I want to know, the persons that are at the factory helping to do all the crushing and all of that thing, do they have an understanding of exactly what they're doing? Yes, I know they have a job. You're glad to have a job. You're getting an income. That's usually something very exciting. But you are doing something that is a little bit more than that. Do they understand that, or is it just it's just work for them?
I think over time they got that kind of understanding. Like even when I just got there, I didn't know a lot, and those were the ones who helped me to and guided me to know more and showed me this is the way how this is done, and this is aluminum, this is copper. Those guys are very versed in the field, and yes, they know exactly how much of a good job they're doing and how much they're helping the country.
Okay. All right, then. So I think that would bring us to the end of our short interview here with Air. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
No, I think I've said a lot so far.
But maybe just another call to encourage persons to recycle, right? Why it's important to recycle.
Just keep the place clean, people. Keep the place clean, people. That is why it's important. Just to drive tourism, drive the beauty of St. Vincent that you want to see every day. That is why it is important. And it's just simple as that.
And let me also add, because yesterday I was in town and it started to rain, and I noticed one of the drains filling up with water, right? So another thing as well too, if you are in town, you just don't drop your stuff wherever, right? All Island Recycling has receptacles in town. You can drop your plastic bottles and your canned bottles in those receptacles, or if not, you gather them for somebody. Every village or every community has somebody who's picking up stuff, all right? So you can, rather than dropping them in Kingston or dropping them wherever, keep it, carry it home, give it to the person within your community who might be collecting, and of course, do your part, your small parts.
Correct.
Right?
Remember, it's not trash, it's cash. Thank you very much. Send this to credits.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our interview here with All Islands Recycling, or AIR. We were speaking with Mr. Jadiel Dopwell, who is the operations manager. Thank you for taking time out to come here today, and thank you for what you're doing. Keep up the good work.